Both of my daughters, Carla, a ninth grader in high school, and Mandy, who is in 10th grade, are very smart girls. They are not very popular with their peer boys, which doesn't upset me or them. Rather, it's their own choice, since both of them are quite on the level, at least above average. In addition, it seems that thanks to their intelligence, even at such a young age, they can easily recognize the insincerity of their peers. My wife and the girl's mother's name is Amanda. I know my opinion is biased, but she is still a very attractive lady, a fit, slender woman with a great figure. We met at a summer party at a youth group the year I graduated from college. She was working as a secretary at the time and had just had a bad affair. I had been warned that starting a relationship with a partner who was in the rebound stage after a recent breakup usually didn't lead to anything good. And Amanda and I did indeed fight more than once in the beginning. It's also true that there was no serious talk of an exclusive relationship between us, but I was still hurt when I heard a while later that she was dating Nick Monroe, her former beau, again. That set us back a few months, but eventually we did sit down and talk, and things between us progressed from there as they should in a traditional relationship. Amanda never gave me any reason to question her fidelity. I, for my part, not only never cheated on her, but, in fact, never even came close to doing so. To be honest, I've never been much of a ladies' man either. Even though I was making good money, our family was hamstrung by medical bills that depleted our savings. About 3 years ago, Amanda, while driving, failed to control herself in the ice and caused an accident, piling up a 5-car pileup. All 3 of my women were injured in that accident. With an annual deductible of $10,000 per person, broken bones and other injuries quickly depleted our finances. Only by taking out a loan against the house were we able to pay off the remaining medical bills. So, even though my wife's earnings are only a third of what I earn, we still need Amanda's income to pay off the loans and try to save for girls' college again. I had never heard my daughters discuss beauty pageants before, whether it was in a good, bad way or not at all. So I was somewhat surprised when one day they walked up, giggling and nudging each other, the 2 of them to Amanda, and handed her a flyer with information about an upcoming Sexiest Mom contest. "What do you think, Mom? We think you could win here, and by a wide margin." Amanda looked at the flyer for a moment before answering. "What's the point? I'm not looking for a new man, and I don't really want to get inappropriate offers from some jerks I don't know." "Yeah, but we'd be proud of you. Maybe you're just afraid of losing." Carla teased her. "No," Amanda immediately responded. "Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll think about it. I wasn't sure what Amanda's decision would be. She had a really thoughtful look on her face that night. You could almost see the gears and wheels turning in her head." Waking up in the morning just before my alarm clock beeped, I found myself drawn into a discussion with my already awake wife. "Carl, would you mind if I entered the contest?" she asked cautiously. "Nope," I yawned. "That's entirely up to you, and I'll support any decision you make, okay? It's up to you." That elicited an affectionate coo-coo-coo from her. "You got me. Don't worry, I'm not completely stupid." Amanda's hand slid down, and it made goosebumps run through my body. The alarm clock squealed, signaling that it was time to get up, but I just waved my hand impatiently, hitting the off button. Being already on the verge of climax, I didn't want anything to get in the way of both of us. "Thank you, sweetheart. I want you to take just as much care of me tonight, cowboy," Amanda purred, falling onto my chest and kissing me sensually. Friday night at dinner, Carla demanded an answer. "So what have you decided, Mom? The deadline for contest entries ends Sunday night. Who's the hottest mom around here?" "If it makes you too happy," Amanda replied. "Okay, I'll do it, but with 2 conditions. 1, it will be our family event, and 2nd, I expect both of you to assist me in all aspects of the pageant." Both daughters immediately let out shrill, enthusiastic squeals and rushed over to Amanda to hug her. I, on the other hand, was more than happy to step aside. Saturday was a busy day, as my 3 ladies spent the day picking out closet and rehearsing the contestant's speech. The entry fee of $30 was not wasted. In fact, the main competition was for 2nd place, because Amanda clearly looked like the sexiest woman among the other contestants. And yes, she did have to listen to some very inappropriate suggestions. When you have teenage daughters in the audience, you never know what they'll think or how they'll take an awkward situation. Although my girls just shrugged their shoulders and let the swaggering exclamations from the crowd pass their ears. It wasn't too pleasant for me either and caused a certain amount of anxiety. Do Mandy and Carla really have to put up with this kind of commentary and whistling at school? To the winner goes all the spoils. Personally, I benefited immensely from Amanda winning the grand prize. Just a $30 entry fee couldn't have bought a more passionate night of sex with an officially recognized mature beauty queen. As soon as my wife and I were alone, I got an exclusive striptease from the first winner of the contest. Of course, I gave her a score of 10 out of 10. It's a shame the scale ends at 10 because her skills deserved a higher score. Feeling a little obligated, I gave my pet champion all the fun back. She had to wrap her arms around me and bury her face in a pillow to muffle her cries of pleasure. It was a long night of sex, with short breaks for rest and recovery. As they say, Monday is a hard day, so the morning after such a night of hard work was a real challenge for both of us. All four of us were gathered around the dinner table when Amanda proudly announced, "Having won last night's contest, I am now eligible to compete in the regionals." "Excuse me, young lady, what did you say?" Amanda asked with a frown. Dope. Well, it's kind of cool, awesome. Keep up with the times, Mom," our advanced older daughter condescendingly explained. "Oops," I demanded more details from Amanda. "So what does that mean?" "Well, they're holding another, only bigger contest. The rules are the same, but there's bound to be more contestants. I'll need a different speech and sexier outfits." "Sounds cool. Same place as last time?" I asked her a question. "No, it will be in Dallas the second Sunday of next month." That's 600 miles away," I stretched out. "Are they giving you money to cover expenses?" "No, not that I know of." "Okay, forget I mentioned it. We can't afford to go there," Amanda sighed. "But Mom, you have to go." Mandy intervened vigorously. "We're going to make it our family vacation this year. What's there to do in Dallas?" I don't know. Your father and I will talk about it," Amanda replied thoughtfully, looking at me with a meaningful look. Talk meant I would get the best sex I'd ever had since Amanda and I got married. Heh. The variety and frequency of our sessions was already making my knees wobble. With promises of continued further pleasures, our vacation this year now consisted of a 600-mile road trip to Dallas. It wasn't too noticeable at first, but in the time leading up to our trip, Amanda had changed somewhat, and not to say for the better for the most part. Yes, she was now more confident than before, but she had also become a little more dismissive of others. Little by little, our relationship was no longer equal, as we had an unspoken 50-50ths split. My comments and suggestions were usually brushed aside as unimportant, and it began to bother me. I just hoped she was just nervous about the upcoming bigger and more important beauty pageant. We left on Wednesday, did some sightseeing along the way, and after reaching Dallas by the weekend, spent Friday and Saturday as tourists. Fortunately, the weather was quite favorable to us all these days. I paid for 2 rooms so the girls could have their own private space. There was an interior door between our rooms, so they weren't completely on their own. I, on the other hand, was pleased that I was able to get a good fuck from our contestant again. Speaking of the upcoming competition, Amanda's eyes were once again, as they had been the first time, filled with uncertainty, bordering on fear. Among the many contestants, there were plenty of delicious-looking mature MILFs. Amanda herself, though I was nervous, fit right in with this appetizing company. If our local contest was held with a modest audience of only 100 people, then here in Dallas, the ladies paraded in the presence of, as it was announced, more than 2,000 spectators. And I'm sure that such an influx was directly connected with the campaign, "Buy one beer and get the second one for free," announced by the organizers. Drunken laughter and shouting from the seats with demands to show breasts, panties, and perform sex right on the stage spoiled the whole impression. Surprisingly, the girl sitting next to me once again looked quite unperturbed in such an environment. What the hell is going on in high school? Amanda's shining eyes when she was chosen as one of the 5 finalists fulfilled all our hopes and lifted my spirits to the max. I already knew what the evening had in store for me and was already starting to give impatient signals. Then, they eliminated 2 more contestants. I was hopeful, of course, but really didn't have much faith that Amanda could win. One of the 3 remaining ladies looked and skillfully presented herself as if she were the most expensive escort on this planet. She was superbly built. She was 100% confident. And when she spoke, every man in the building drooled. What a sultry and velvety voice she had. Well, she did win the crown, and Amanda ended up being chosen as the first alternate. It was better than I expected, and such a high score from the jury really confirmed that she is a very beautiful woman. After it was over, all 3 of my ladies had mixed feelings about the beauty queen among the moms. They were quick to discover and point out to me all of the winner's flaws, like the fact that her bangs weren't actually straight, her lipstick didn't match her outfit, and that bitch's perfume was purposely picked and spritzed to work as an aphrodisiac for the men on the evaluation committee. I knew better than to cross them. Listening with the edge of my ear to their grumbling and teasing chatter on the 600-mile return trip home, I realized that this was a very special family bonding experience. Still, my $30 had been well spent. Unfortunately, something between us had already ceased to have the appearance of restraint and tact. Since the Dallas competition, Amanda had become overconfident and more ambitious, having contracted some sort of stardom virus. Her way or the highway seemed to be the motto that guided her henceforth. My comments and suggestions no longer had the same meaning for her and were brushed aside as not worthy of attention. Something about being in the crosshairs of the spotlight and the center of everyone's admiration changed Amanda, and not for the better. 6 weeks later, my marriage began to fall apart. One not-so-great day, at the dinner table, Amanda announced, "Guess who's been invited to the National Beauty Pageant?" Carla was the first to react. "But you finished second." "No, I won first alternate place." Mrs. Escort refused to participate, and now I will go instead of her. She smiled widely and glowed as if to announce this news to us. All 3 of us congratulated Amanda. Mandy demanded to know all the details. "When and where, Mom?" "Well, that might be a problem," she faltered a bit. "The pageant will be in Hawaii, 3 weeks from today." I stated the obvious. "Well, you're gonna have to pass. We don't have that kind of money right now. That's too bad." "I thought so too, but someone offered to pay my expenses," she interjected hastily. Was it just me, or did her voice change a little? "Wow. Really, Mom? For all 4 of us?" "Well, no, just me," she mumbled, averting her gaze. Mandy didn't much like that statement from her mother. "Mom, this was a thing for the whole family. If you're going alone, it's no longer a family event. Tell them no." Further conversation didn't last long and went nowhere, so it got cold in the house pretty quickly. We didn't talk about anything else that evening, and the girls hid in their rooms. Even a long sleep did not ease the tension that had arisen. The next night at dinner, Mandy brought up the hot topic again. "So, you turned them down, Mom?" "I haven't done anything yet. I'm still thinking." "What's there to think about?" I intervened. "This used to be our family event, and the fact that you're going alone now was not part of our plans. And by the way, who agreed to pay for you?" "A local businessman," Amanda replied, after a long pause, rather reluctantly. "Don't quibble. Who agreed to pay for you?" I raised my voice. "Can we talk about this later?" She frowned, still trying not to look me in the eye. I was starting to boil. "No! Enough with the innuendo, Amanda. Who agreed to pay for you?" "Nick Monroe," she finally said. "So this is your first love, Nick Monroe? Are you planning on going to Hawaii with your ex-boyfriend?" "Well, isn't that wonderful?" My voice was dripping with venomous sarcasm. Carla got into the fray in the living room. Both girls were busy with schoolwork, so the next night when I got home from work, only Amanda met me at home. "Carl, whatever you think you're doing, this is not a date. I'm going to Hawaii," was the first thing she said. "With Nick?" I don't know if he's going or not. It doesn't matter at all. I'm just going as a contestant. Right. So now you're lying about something you know very well. I guess that tells me where we are in our marriage. How long have you and Nick been back together? What? She widened her eyes. And it's a simple question. You know damn well he's coming too. Will you share a room? Fuck you. Amanda couldn't help herself. With your attitude, maybe I will. You don't seem to trust me at all. What did you just say? I raged, and Amanda rounded her eyes and backed away. Are you so crazy that you want to get back at me by sleeping with Nick? Then go to hell, you whore. I'm sorry. Realizing she'd gone too far, Amanda backed up. I shouldn't have said that, and I didn't mean it. Why don't you trust me? And you're asking why? You tried to hide the fact that Nick paid for your ticket. Then you tried to lie about Nick going there. Another thought occurred to me. Wait a minute, answer me one question. Before you came home and told us all about your new opportunity, did you have time to talk to Nick beforehand? Yeah, I can see it in your eyes that it's not clean. Well, you're right. I think you're cheating on me with Nick. I'm not cheating, she screamed hysterically. He just called me to tell me he saw the press release about the winner declining an invitation to go to Hawaii. That sounds more than a little suspicious, I snorted. And I repeat, you are not going or our marriage goes to hell. No, I am, and this is not a date. She stomped her foot angrily, standing with her arms at her sides, sniffling like a fire-breathing dragon. And not a romantic weekend. I'll only be there as a contestant. Amanda grabbed her keys. I need to get some air. Make your own dinner. I couldn't resist throwing her a venomous glare. Running off to spend some time with your boyfriend? I bet you planned this whole scandal for that very purpose. Amanda instantly turned around and threw her keys at me. It didn't hit, and then raced down the hallway like a tornado. This time the poor door rattled with such force that I might have to deal with splintered wood. She didn't come out of her dragon cave for the rest of the evening. Things had gone downhill from then on. Carla and Mandy communicated with Amanda very dryly, and only answered her with a yes or no. Amanda herself completely ignored me. On top of that, my not-so-young back was begging for mercy, unable to sleep on the hard couch any longer, so I booked a room for myself at an extended-stay hotel. Well aware that Amanda could hear me, I said quite loudly to Carla and Mandy before heading to the hotel. Let me know if your mom is having fun here with her boyfriend. I will, Dad. Better yet, take us with you, the girls asked. Amanda immediately jumped out of the kitchen. Where are you going? She frowned. I've got a hotel room. You've kept my bedroom door closed too many times lately. I still came home after work. Of course, I mostly did it to spend more time with Mandy and Carla. It wasn't until after the girls went to bed that I would return to my hotel. What I couldn't really understand was, how the hell had things fallen apart so quickly? Why did Amanda now need to so stubbornly draw a line in the sand in something she originally wanted no part of at all? The day of Amanda's departure came. I was mortified, given the way she had been acting lately. In my mind, it was an affair burdened by the fact that she had reconnected with her ex. Amanda's stubborn certainty that I was talking nonsense was just pissing me off. After packing her suitcase, she waited nervously for me at the kitchen table. Amanda, this is your last chance, I warned her. If you go to Hawaii, our marriage is over. Stop being so dramatic, she replied. I'm going as a contestant. You're not ruining our marriage over this. It's not a date, period. Wrong, it is a date. You've been hiding your affair with Nick, and I'm not going to put up with it. I cut her off, but apparently my words couldn't penetrate her mind. Stop it, Carl. It's not a date, she kept saying like a parrot. I'll never get another chance like this again. Can't you just be happy for me? I warned you. Don't expect your credit cards to keep working after you leave. Amanda only rolled her eyes and brushed off my warnings as something not to be taken seriously. Both Carla and Mandy, who had repeatedly lectured Amanda on how wrong everything she'd been doing for the past few days, showed up in the kitchen during our next fruitless argument in a very good mood. This made me even more upset. How could they be so cheerful when I was dying inside me? As the girls entered, they said with glee, Mom, close your eyes. We have a surprise for you. A wide smile lit up Amanda's face. She raised her hands to cover her eyes. "No peeking! Don't spread your fingers, let me help you," Mandy said as she stepped closer. She positioned Amanda's hands so that her elbows were pointing straight away from her face. When Amanda's palms closed her eyes tightly, her vision was blocked. "Now don't open your eyes," Carla warned. "They're closed," Amanda muttered. After these words from her mother, Carla pulled two small cups from behind her back. Mandy took one carefully and they looked at each other. I watched them silently say with just their lips, 3, 2, 1. A bright red liquid splashed on both sides of Amanda's face. What I later learned was called Red Dragon. It was fountain pen ink, a highly persistent type that takes several weeks to disappear from your skin. When the liquid splashed on her face, Amanda screamed, "What the hell?" In response, Mandy yelled to her dazed mother, "Wives don't go on dates! If you've ever seen a raccoon, you can picture this picture." This stunned raccoon had a very red face, equally bright fists, and a light streak along its eyes. Amanda's hair was disheveled and also covered in red blotches. The raccoon looked incredulously at his fists and wrinkled his mouth comically. There was a tense silence in the kitchen. I couldn't help myself. I started laughing and couldn't stop. Carla and Mandy, unsure of how I would react, were relieved and joined me, laughing and pointing their fingers. As soon as Amanda saw her purple hands, she felt her chances of winning the contest rapidly diminish. She dashed past us, rushing into the bathroom, and the wild scream Amanda let out when she saw herself in the mirror was a scream I won't soon forget. We were still giggling as we followed her toward the bathroom when Amanda came out a short time later and gave us a devastating look. Without a word, she dashed down the hallway and slammed our long-suffering bedroom door shut again. When Nick arrived later that evening, he rang the doorbell, but none of us answered it. "Amanda, your boyfriend is here." I knocked on the bedroom door just in case and called out to her. I got no response and the bedroom door was still locked. The incessant front doorbells and then the loud knocking became unbearable after a few minutes. Swinging the front door open and leaving the outer mesh one on the deadbolt, I turned to the asshole. "Sorry, Nick. Looks like she changed her mind." The smug look on Nick's face quickly disappeared and he reached for his phone. The raccoon sponsor tried Amanda's cell phone, but it was in her purse, next to her suitcase in the hallway, so all his trills went nowhere. Hopefully, Monroe had spent a fortune on a non-refundable hotel reservation. After Nick finally bailed, I assessed the damage done. First of all, I'd have to replace the carpet in the kitchen. Not a big deal, since I wanted to switch to laminate anyway. A trail of red drips led me from the kitchen to the bathroom. I'll have to replace the carpeting in the hallway as well. The matching set for the bathroom was no longer appropriate. Changing it would be cheap enough, though. The few towels lying around in the laundry basket were smeared with red. The only thing missing was that no one had managed to take a picture of the moment of the attack itself or of Amanda's face immediately afterward. "Come on, girls, let's go get some ice cream," I suggested to Mandy and Carla, and they happily agreed to go for a walk. At the cafe, we had a heart-to-heart talk while enjoying triple scoops of waffle cone balls. "What now, Dad? Are you going to divorce Mom?" They asked me the question they were worried about. "It's too soon to tell, ladies. While it's clear to the three of us that what she's doing is destroying our marriage, she obviously doesn't see it that way. At the very least, we probably need some time away from each other. We may have to formalize the separation and then go to some counseling." I sighed and described my current situation and my attitude. "Please, Dad, don't make us stay with her." Mandy's fears were not in vain. I'd hate to see what kind of revenge she had in store for us. For dinner, we brought home a large pizza. Amanda's portion went untouched. If she ever left the locked bedroom, it was only when we weren't around, and her purse and suitcase still stood by the door. Even though I still had a paid-for hotel room, that first night I slept on the big couch in the living room. In doing so, I was genuinely concerned for Carla and Mandy's safety. Nothing else extraordinary happened, however, and we never saw Amanda once or heard from her the entire Saturday afternoon. Saturday night was spent in my hotel room. Hell, buying a new couch would probably cost me less than staying in that hotel. When we returned from Sunday brunch, we discovered that Amanda's purse was missing, but her car was still parked in the garage. I didn't immediately realize why that was the case, but after I got a text from Amanda, I realized why she had only grabbed her purse. "Are you breaking up with me?" she wrote. "It's too soon to tell. When will we see you again?" I replied her. "I extended my vacation at work. I look just disgusting right now," the next sour message read. "The longer you avoid me, the more likely I am to divorce you," flew my text warning toward the bedroom. After that, I heard the lock click, and the bedroom door slowly opened. We didn't need a picture of the moment when it all happened. The scarlet raccoon was back. All I had to do was not laugh, which, to be honest, I managed with great difficulty. Although our girls peering out from behind me, Amanda's adorable appearance didn't stop me from commenting. "Cool look, Mom." Mandy jumped up and down with joy. "I love what you did with your eyelashes," Carla added with a giggle. "Girls, leave your mom alone," I demanded. Pointing to the bedroom, Amanda turned to me. "Can we talk? Alone?" As soon as the door closed, her quiet voice rang out. "We had a good marriage, didn't we?" That's exactly what I thought. Although it was probably naive, I replied, just as softly. "You took your cell phone to keep in touch with your boyfriend?" "He's not my boyfriend," she snapped, then took a deep breath and pulled herself together. "Okay, I was stupid. Here, look what he sent me and how I responded." Amanda picked up her phone, unlocked it, and showed me the messages. "Nick, sorry you changed your mind. Hawaii is so romantic. I think we could make up for lost time. Give me a call sometime." Amanda, we would not catch up. I was going to a beauty pageant. Nothing else. I never want to hear from you again. I checked her phone log of her calls and texts. All I found was a single call to her boss's work number. All the recent text messages were either addressed to me or were replies to Nick's texts. Maybe there's still hope for us. Maybe this is just a ploy to catch me off guard, I continued incredulously. You must have kept in touch with him. If you really cared about our marriage, you would have told me about his contact with you, unless, of course, you were the one who first contacted him. Where are the calls and texts you exchanged? Without thinking, I deleted them all. I was so angry with myself. Amanda made excuses. I just wanted it all to be over soon. Now that you ask about it, I realize I should have shared it with you. I'm sorry. I don't have any boyfriends. I don't have any lovers either. He contacted me and, I screwed up, okay? I'm sorry. Please don't leave me. Her voice was pleading and she was sniffling. I didn't know what to say. Silently, I handed Amanda back her phone. With worried eyes, she came toward me. Are you going to sleep in our bedroom tonight? No. We need some time away from each other. The degree of disrespect you've shown me is not something I can handle quickly. That set off another flood of tears and sobs, mixed with constant repetition. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Did I mention that our daughters were savvy girls? Let me put an asterisk next to that statement. While we were talking, Mandy and Carla printed out some ads from people who needed clowns for children's birthday parties. After they slid those sheets under the bedroom door, it was the first time I'd seen Amanda so furious. Her tears stopped instantly, and she launched herself off the bed like a rocket before she sprinted out the door like an angry fury. Ladies, I am still your mother, and I can make your lives a living hell. Get the hell out of here! Shocked, both daughters disappeared around the corner with a high-pitched squeal, and after a brief stomp down the hallway, there was the sound of their bedroom doors slamming shut. Left alone, I grinned. I guess the lesson had been learned by all parties. Later in the afternoon, Amanda came down to the kitchen, and as if nothing had happened, she started cooking dinner. Carla and Mandy hid in their shared bathroom. I was bursting out laughing when I saw them reappear. The girls had used makeup to make themselves look like raccoons. Staying at a safe distance, out of Amanda's sight while she fiddled with the cooking, Mandy raised her voice from the hallway. Hey, Mom, you know how people support people who are going through chemo and losing their hair? You know, they shave off their own hair. What are you thinking right now? My striped raccoon daughters appeared on the doorstep of the kitchen, smiling uncertainly and looking warily at their mother, waiting for her reaction and ready to scurry away again if anything happened. When Amanda turned around, her expression changed from shock first to anger and then to laughter. With a relieved exhale, the raccoon-faced daughters jumped around their mother, giggling. A group hug smeared our girls' makeup all over their faces. Maybe there's hope for us yet. Epilogue. Amanda couldn't get any more time off, so she quit her old job. It was a month before she felt confident enough to go out in public without looking like a painted Wonder Juice. The person who replaced her at her old company didn't do too well, so Amanda was asked to return to her old position. We continued to pay off our loans and started to build up our new savings little by little. After 2 sessions of marriage counseling, I moved back home. Amanda was convinced that she personally needed additional individual counseling. Little by little, the thoughts and opinions I expressed began to matter to her again. It's going to take some time, but I think in the foreseeable future, we'll make it work. The results of the national competition held in Hawaii have been posted online. While I personally think Amanda is just lovely, the 5 finalists in the competition were someone in a whole other league. Let's just say there are some strategically super-improved moms among them. Carla and Mandy whispered to me in confidence that Amanda wouldn't have been a finalist anyway. Even they saw the difference between Amanda and those hotties. Payback can be pretty harsh sometimes. Sometime after these events, Mandy promised a very shy boy that she would go to prom night with him. This happened a few weeks before she came home from college, and by the time it was time to go to the event, she had completely forgotten about it. As Mandy got all dressed up on the big day and was getting ready to leave the house with another guy, her backup, Amanda snuck up behind her and poured a glass of molasses on her head. This ruined Mandy's hair, makeup, and dress. "Mama!" The shocked daughter shrieked in despair, frozen in place with her arms outstretched and the sweet mass dripping down. "Didn't you learn anything from my fiasco?" Her angry mother pounced on her. "If you gave your word, keep it!" Mandy cried nonstop all weekend. Out of a sense of self-preservation, we all kept a respectful distance from her. Carla knows that the time for her own graduation is approaching, and she is very concerned about it. The new carpet in the hallway and the laminate flooring in the kitchen look great, and I'm still contemplating whether I should give Amanda the stuffed raccoon I bought for her for Christmas. Something tells me that would be a little life-threatening.